The fall 2010 production for Penn State Opera Theater was Claudio Monteverdi's opera, The Coronation of Poppea. The Coronation of Poppea is a very early opera. It's a Baroque opera, one of the earliest of the standard repertoire. And for the production, we knew that we were going to be performing in Esber Recital Hall. The project began as the opera's fall production. It emerged as a collaborative and very exciting event with the School of Theater.
It is definitely, historically, it's a very different thing for us, though. This just hasn't been a relationship that we have fostered. And it's not that we're enemies necessarily, but it's just we have separate goals, we have separate training sort of goals, and there has not been a lot of collaboration between the two units prior. These kind of smaller productions where there's a lot of collaboration lends itself really well to innovative ideas and innovative problem solving, because everybody has solved the problem of, well, let's just paint another drop in the theater, or let's just, hang some more lights or whatever. But when you go over there and you work in Esber Recital Hall, which has not really a lighting system, all of a sudden you have to come up with, well, how am I going to solve that problem?
We could attempt to fully produce it, to put sets on the stage, to put all of the actors in costumes that would be representative of the piece when it was either premiered or when it is set to take place. Both of those things seemed prohibitive and seemed a little silly to try in the venue in which we were performing. So almost immediately, it was clear that this production would have to be non-traditional, that this production would have to include non-traditional elements.
So traditional hard scenery, things flying in and out, lots of, big opulent structure wasn't an option. So we talked a little bit and thought video projections might be a good way to go. So we built a small structure, just a little, in theatrical terms, a very small structure, just the platforming, stepping up, little altar on the top, red fabric. But the majority of the setting was established by the projections.
And the interesting thing about that is opera is very unafraid of doing that. It's very unafraid of those really weird combinations of modern dress and period instruments.
The instrumentation wasn't huge. It wasn't a grand opera. It wasn't a Verdi or a Puccini. It was a very small ensemble, and as such, the scenery needs to reflect that. It has to be in harmony with the music.
When you look at a production like Poppea, you see that it kind of is a big canvas, because it is that kind of a big story that isn't constrained to, well, we have to have a front door. This enables us to break out of that a little bit and say, no, you don't really need. The opera is not so specific as theater oftentimes, and so you don't necessarily you need to talk about emotions, and you need to design emotions and design ideas, and not design the practicalities of which side of the hinge is on and what kind of a door is it.
The opportunity to perform in a non-traditional setting with scenic elements, with lighting elements, and with these film and video elements gave them a tremendous laboratory in which to work, to understand all of the elements that go in to the production of opera, to the theatrical production of opera. It is absolutely invaluable to the students.
And it means a lot to us to be able to say, do an opera, understand what it's like to do an opera, to collaborate with an opera director or with a maestro or with whoever's involved in that is just very different.
With theater, an opera program can become a vibrant and an exciting and a really kind of growing thing that is relevant pedagogically to the students participating, whether they're the singers or the instrumentalists playing or the designers building the sets or designing costumes or coming up with lights or coming up with non-traditional innovative ways to do it.